Hi, I'm Lucy James, and I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast.
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm the developer of PurRocket, an iOS space game with cats. And I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast. You can find a link to download my game at facebook.com/PurRocket.
Welcome to our podcast. We've got a lot to say about all the latest games you're gonna wanna play. We'll tell you what's on Xbox, PS3, PC, and more. We'll chat about some random stuff till you're rolling on the floor. This is One Up Gaming. Sit back and grab a drink. It's time to give a listen to what we have to think.
And we're back. It's me, David, and it's Eddie.
Hello. I'm back again.
And it's One Up Gaming, episode 175.
God, so many episodes. So many episodes. 175. 25 away from 200.
I know, that's quite scary.
Oh, very.
I mean, I don't know about you, Eddie, but I've actually been going through some of our back catalogue of episodes. And some of them, they're actually quite funny. Not many, but some.
Well, yeah. We are quite funny. We're not amazingly funny, but we're quite funny. I would say we were kind of funny, but then I wouldn't want to be sued, so I can't say that. But yeah. We're sort of funny. We're there.
We have moments. So I guess we will go straight in and say please buy our album. It's out on iTunes and Spotify, Google Play, all those other places where you would expect it to be. And the album is Games Inspired Music. That's the name of the album. It all started about 2 years ago now, where we were going to make an animated sort of like TV sort of show, and we were going to basically go into game worlds within the animated series. So say like we were going to go into the Witcher sort of game, into their world. We paid a musician to create music inspired by the Witcher's sort of like music and style. And we got loads of music made up, and unfortunately the music was the cheap part. That was just a couple of thousand, but the actual animation itself, a few of the animation studios, they wanted $60,000 to make a 1 hour like episode. Well, 6 episodes, 10 minutes each, 1 hour of animation. They wanted $60,000. And I don't know about you, Eddie, but I don't sort of like have that loose change lying around.
Oh yeah, hell no. Not even. Nope. 60k, you can get a car. You can get 3 cars. You can get so many cars with 60k. What the fuck, man? No one is gonna pay 60,000. If someone paid 60,000 for 10 animations, those must have been some good motherfucking animations. Because 60k is not just like random money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but unfortunately that's how much it all costs.
Well, there's a demand, right? There's a demand for animations now. There's a demand because of there's so many YouTube channels that have animations and whatnot. There's a demand for them now, so everyone wants to make their own animated series. So doesn't mean it's going to be cheap.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I will say is we did go after some sort of like well-known animation sort of studios, and that's probably why it was so expensive, but I wanted it to be movie sort of like quality animation.
Right.
But we've got the scripts all written and ready to go, so I guess in the future, if I do win the lottery, I might get them made up for the laugh.
I don't see why not.
But as it is right now, where you have to scrimp and scrape every penny just to pay the bills, it's a dream that'll just stay on the horizon for now.
Yeah, it's not worth the cost.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be okay if I was in talks with the BBC, they liked the scripts and this, that, the other, and then they basically paid us outright for the series. I wouldn't mind that. You know, and you don't have to worry about the money, but it's just all the negotiations that I just don't have time for. Anyway, this isn't a animation podcast. What have you been playing this week, Mr. Eddie?
This week. This week I have been playing not much, actually. I tried out RuneScape. Like I played RuneScape back in the day. So when I say back in the day, I mean like not even 7 years ago. More than 7 years ago. So I played it back when, like, its graphics were good. Its graphics were considered good. And like, I'm playing it now, and they haven't changed much. The graphic style is different. They've gone with a more like artistic art style, like Mosaic or something like that. Like something that you can find on Photoshop or Illustrator.
Yeah.
And then you have you have the combat system, which hasn't really changed. They added a rock paper scissors type approach, so there's no classes. It's just about the weapons you pick up, and the more you use those weapons, the more levels you gain, the more skill you gain with that weapon, that type of thing. And then like I think it was melee beats magic, magic beats ranged, ranged beats magic, or something like that. And then I think that's what it was. Or was it the other way around? That's the thing, I have no bloody idea. I think it was fighting beats magic, I think. No, fighting beats ranged, ranged beats magic, and then magic beats magic beats melee. That's how it goes. That weird little triangle. But yeah, it was more like there's skills, there's that type of thing that come up, and you can use skills. So the combat system is it's not extensive. It's bare bones at best. It's not amazing. It's not anything to write home about. It's there. And then you have the other basics. Like the game hasn't changed that much with the crafting as well. And the crafting in RuneScape's always been like, you know, it's been like you click on this thing, then click on that other thing, and it makes this. Yay! Now they have like an actual like ingredients table and a book and shit, so that's great. So you can actually see, I can make this and that and this and that, but I need this and that. So it shows you the ingredients you need to make something. You don't have to like ask around or go on the internet. It's just there. So that's what I've done. I've been playing that. I played that. I couldn't play it for more than 30 minutes. I couldn't. I just couldn't. Like, the game is just, it's not awful. I'm not gonna say the game's awful, but it's not the best thing I've played. It's close to being the worst thing I've played in a very long time, because Jesus, that's bad. It's one of those games that if you want to shut off completely and play something, if you don't want to think and you just want to click and you just want to go, play RuneScape, because that's what it is. You need no thought, you need no readiness, you don't need to know what you're doing, just play the game. Just click on shit, it works. And then that was a game I played, so yay. I played Ghost in the Shell recently.
Isn't that an anime?
Yeah, that's what I thought. But now it's a first-person shooter. So much fun! So much fun. It actually is. It's actually really good. It's actually really good. It takes a little bit to learn because it's very odd, because you have skills and shit. So it's more like I would almost call it like something like Smite almost, because you have skills. You have one guy has like so instead of classes they have characters from the anime, and you play as the characters. And one of the skills one of the characters has is a arm launcher. You can shoot rockets at your arm, or you can send out seeker drones that explode when they get near someone, or you can see through walls, go invisible. Like each has their own special, unique thing. So that was a thing that I played. It was actually really nice. It was
So
well
where
balanced.
did you play this? Is it on Steam or...
Yeah, it's on Steam.
It's on Steam, is it? Right. Is it cheap or expensive or...
Well, I wouldn't say it was. I wouldn't say like I think it's free to play if I remember correctly. It could be that or I was playing it in beta. Either one, I don't mind. But basically, this game is. It's not about. I wouldn't say like because there are microtransactions and that type of thing in the game, obviously. So yeah, free to play. But if it's more about, do you actually want to play this game? Like, would you be bothered to learn a new system of how to play? Because instead of perks, they have these things that you can attach onto your character. Instead of and the guns are limited as well. You have to unlock the guns, but you have to use a specific type of gun. So if you want to unlock a new assault rifle, you have to use an assault rifle. So it kind of reminds me of what was that game? It kind of reminds me of Black Ops, Call of Duty, where
Right.
I think the first one, where you had to use a specific weapon to unlock another weapon. So it has that type of thing, which is fine. It just takes too bloody long. It takes way too long, and a lot of the modes in the game don't work with the pace of the game at all. Because like they have this elimination type thing where you have to basically plant a bomb before your entire team dies, which is cool, but it's like one death and that's it. One death and then you're just spectating. And that makes a problem, because it's like the game moves too quickly, it goes too fast, you're playing too quickly, you can't really do that, you know, because if you die, you will die very quickly in this game. You'll die in a second, boom, done, over. And there's not really much you can do about that. Because I think you die too quickly for them to have those type of modes. The game is just a little too fast for that.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
mean,
just
do you
me.
think maybe the actual pace of how the game unfolds is maybe intentional on their part to make people pay to buy better upgrades?
I think so. I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I really wouldn't. Mostly because that is the type of that's the type of thing a free to play. That's the type of thing free to play does, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's the type of thing they do.
If the game's made well, then I don't mind playing a good 2-3 hours and then hitting a bit of a wall that you have to either grind or pay to get past. Because at least you've had a good 2 or 3 hours of solid gameplay.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's a game well done, then I will pay a bit of money into it to get, you know, through that sort of like bit. But I see a lot of games where you're like, say like a racing game, you have 2 races and it says, oh, pay 79p to play more or wait till tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's just, well, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But
No, I get that. That's the thing. I get that. But
so
that's the type
I
of game it
think
is.
I will try this Ghost in the Shell. So it only came out this year as well.
Yeah. If you like it, like if you like, I would say if you like first person shooters on the PC, give it a try. Honestly, give it a try, because I do not like first person shooters on the PC. I hate using a mouse. I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't understand
So
how people
it says partial controller support. What does that mean on Steam?
I have not used the controller. I do not have an Xbox controller to use with my PC, so I cannot tell you.
I might give that a go and see if it plays with the pad or not.
Oh, it probably.
I don't know how to use the buttons.
It probably will. I can't, but I hate it. I can't keep using it. I can't keep using a controller. It's actually driving me insane. I mean, I can't keep using a mouse and keyboard, because a mouse and keyboard is so bad. I don't understand how people play first-person shooters with this. It's so bad to play. There's not enough response time. It's really weird.
Yeah, but I don't play against other people, so I don't really care about response time and...
Oh, another thing is, there's no single player.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm not a big fan of. A lot of free-to-play stuff is all, like, multiplayer-focused, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is all multiplayer. There's no single player.
Yeah.
All multiplayer. So if you want single player, there isn't any. But there's multiplayer. So yeah, I would say this is more of a game for fans of the series. People who enjoy those games or have enjoyed those games, you know. But I doubt it. I doubt this game will be around for long, or that people will remember that it's even around. Because I don't think a lot of people still remember that it's there, which is a shame. It is a shame because it is a very good game. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I haven't played much else.
Oh. I mean, we've only been talking 15 minutes. So
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
I've been sent a game to review, and it's called Ride 2. And this is it looks like an arcadey motorbike game, but it uses real-world sort of physics. So
Right.
it's made by the same team who do one of the Superbike games, Milestone, I think they are. And so it uses that graphics engine, but they've basically put it in to like a road rashy sort of setting where you're racing through the cities, but it's still got all the physics and stuff of the rail sort of game, and it's quite hard. I don't play motorbike games, and they're very hard. And you got to lean into corners, and I just normally press left or right in the accelerate button. That's all I need on racing games. But it looks quite nice. It moves well. It seems fast. And I've only had 2 goes of that. But of course, like a lot of games, you turn it on, you put the disc in, it says available to play, and it's just got like the time trial. You have to wait like 2 days for it to bloody install to your hard drive. So I'll have to go back to it when it's actually fully installed, so I can actually play like the real game, not just like racing around the track on my own. But yeah, so it seems quite good. I'll be back in a week or so with more details. The only other game of consequence that I've really been putting a bit of time in is FIFA 17 on the Xbox One. Me and a mate, we've created a pro club where we've both joined, and we're going to be playing together with that. So that should be quite fun. Created my little character. But I think they've taken out on the old FIFAs that I used to have on the 360, you could take a picture of your face and upload it onto the EA Sports website. And then you could download it on the game, so you could actually have your own face in the game. But I think they've taken all that out on this one now. You can just like do like sliders and stuff to change the face settings. You can't actually import your own face.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
That's usually what they do.
Yeah. But I guess they have changed the engine, or they might just have decided that it just wasn't worth the effort of doing it all, but I don't know. I used to really enjoy doing that. So that is all that I have been playing.
Hey guys, Justin here. I wanted to take a minute to talk to you about this thing we're really getting into here at One Up Gaming. It's called the Eagle Box, and it's a tiny Android console that, with a high-quality wireless controller, connects to your TV via HDMI, and then it gives you instant access to all kinds of retro games. It comes pre-installed with Android TV and the movie apps and all the fun stuff like Kodi that you would expect from an Android box. But in addition to that, I mean, this is like me going off and saying, but wait, there's more! It can play PS1, MAME, Dreamcast, N64, Neo Geo, Atari, NES, SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Sega Master System, Sega Mega Drive, or, Sega Genesis back in the real world, what do you want to call it? Commodore 64, Amiga, ZX Spectrum, I could go on for days with the amount of games that this thing can play. And if, by chance, you happen to run out of memory, it has an expandable memory slot too, so you can keep adding on to your game library if that's your thing. Unlike a lot of these other Android-based consoles out there, it supports up to 1080p. It includes a TV remote, and I can't speak highly enough about this thing. It does everything you'd want it to, and it's a media device too. So if you're into quality retro gaming, and I know Nintendo has this NES Classic console coming out in November, and it's going to be $60 US or whatever. But you can start now. I mean, you could play these games on your TV right now, rather than having to wait, and probably not even be able to get a unit, one of those NES Classic consoles due to sheer nostalgic demand. I mean, the pre-orders are going to be crazy. Why go through that when you can get an Eagle Box from 1UP Gaming right now and start playing those classic games right now? And then, when you're done playing games, you could watch movies and do a host of other things, media-related, all in one device. It comes with a wireless controller. It comes with a TV remote. And you record live TV if you want. I mean, this is one of these things it does. It's a full media device. It can record virtually anything you want to do on Android, you can do on here, because it is a full Android device. And for those of you familiar with Kodi, it comes with that pre-installed. So, go to 1UP Gaming, go to our website, okay? Check it out, and get yourself an Eagle Box. Don't bother going to eBay. Who knows what's going to be there. You never know what you're getting out of eBay. How many times have I been burned? I can't even count the times that I've been burned through eBay. But know that you're getting a quality device through 1UP Gaming that's going to do all your retro games, and some fairly modern ones too, and all your media stuff too, right in your living room, right now. No need to wait. So, go to the 1UP Gaming website, check it out, and I think you'll like it. Anyway, back to the show.
And now, it's this week's news with 1UP Gaming.
So, do you have any news at all, or...?
News? Well,
yeah.
That I can probably find. I have some news, yeah. Not too much, but enough. Well, first piece of news is recent. Well, as recent as I can get. And it's that I think this is more of like, something for the Xbox guys. And they need a win. Xbox needs a win right now. So their first win is the fact that they are winning when it comes to sales. They're back on top.
I think this is the third month in a row where the Xbox One's outsold the PS4.
Well, I'm not surprised, innit? I'm not surprised anymore, because a lot of people were just holding out. A lot of people are holding out with this console generation, and it's because they want to see what happens. A lot of people want to see, okay, my favorite game is coming out. What's going to happen? How? What system is it going to run best on? What system is going to have the better exclusives? And for Xbox, they've just had non-stop good happening. But PlayStation's kind of just muddied the water a bit with the faith of their consumers and the faith of their players, because how they have treated them isn't really good. Like, people may be thinking about, what the hell is he talking about? Well, number one, what the hell is with not allowing actual mod support for Skyrim and Fallout, when literally half of the reason they're playing those games is for the mods?
They have changed, well, they've relaxed that a bit.
Well, not really. Like, you can't put custom.
You can only do mods with stuff that's already within the game.
Exactly, and that's fun and that's nice. But if you don't have that, if you don't want to be like, oh yeah, that's great, I can kind of change what a weapon looks like. Maybe, like, there's not a lot you can do. Like, that's why before Fallout's custom thing came out, before their custom creation kit before the creation kit came out, everyone was like, okay, we're just gonna wait for the mods to come out, because most of the mods that came out, they weren't bad, but they weren't what people were looking for. And now it's just like a giant chop up of, if you want to play these games, Xbox, 100%. You want mods, Xbox. You want actual fun, reasonably decent gameplay, PS4. Sure, why not? Because at this point, they both do the same thing. Xbox can go on, you can stream from it, you can play on it. There's not much that. Go on.
I was gonna say, I think the reason why it's selling quite well is it's since the introduction of the Xbox One S, and that is a nice little console. I was tempted to actually try and buy one of them myself, because my Xbox One's about dead. But then when I worked out that to get like a 1 terabyte hard drive, they're about £300, 350, something stupid like that.
Seriously?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm not paying that much money for it.
God damn. But this is what I'm saying. Right now, like, people that have listened to these podcasts long enough know that I love PlayStation. PlayStation is my thing, right? And that's mostly because of, like, when they release most of the games that I play. Most of the games that I play release and play best on the PlayStation. But with the release of Gears of War 4, I found myself thinking, should I get an Xbox? Is there a point to me getting a PS4 anymore? Because the PS4, it seems like games with mods, if I want to play a game that has mods or has mod support, I should not be buying a PS4. That is basically the message I'm getting. Do not buy a PS4 if you want to play a game with mod support. Because you will not get actual mods. You will get things that are perfectly reasonable to them. You will get things that are like, you know what, you can only use the assets within the game. You can't use anything else outside of the game. You can't import custom color palettes. You can't bring in your own models, your own companions. You can't do any of that. You have to use what's there. And that's fine for some games. But Bethesda games, like everyone knows, every Bethesda game that has come out has things wrong with it. It either has things wrong with it, things missing, things that could have been added, things that need fixing. And most of the time, mods take care of that. If you do not take care of it with mods, I do not see how else you're going to actually have a fun experience playing. Because, like, there aren't many, if any, there aren't a lot of games coming out exclusively for the PS4 that I can look at and say, I want to play that. There aren't many.
I agree with you there.
There are not many, and that is the problem. Because I look at Gears of War and I'm like, I want to play that. But when I look at PS4, I don't see that. I don't see any of that. I don't see any games that make me want to go, I want to play this game so bad. Nothing at all. And it's like, okay, some of the exclusives for the PS4, that either I would play or I would want to check out, right? Just off the top, real quick. First one, Deep Down, the Capcom game. I want to see what they do with it. I want to see gameplay. I think it will be good. That's the only reasons.
Well, that's been out in Japan for a while.
Yeah, but it's not been out here.
Yeah,
and
but
it's the same. It's the same
like
with
a free to
Tekken.
play sort of game that it wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't. But that's the thing. When it came, even with Tekken, the same with Tekken. Tekken's been out for what, like a year and a half in Korea now, and it's coming out here what, next year, February, maybe. I think, I have no idea.
Oh, the game, it's out in arcades, but it's not out on the console.
Exactly, but it's been there. Like, they could have brought it here and put it in arcades. And I get that arcades are a bigger thing in that
Over
in like
here,
Korea and
arcades
whatnot.
are dead.
Exactly, but that would be something that could revitalize arcades, bringing games, newer games that you feel aren't ready to be put on console. Put them on arcade cabinets. Easy.
Yeah, they would do if there was demand for that. It's the arcade owners who don't want to pay the 50 grand per arcade cabinet.
But then again, you have places like the Namco Funscape, and places like that, like places that are actually owned by these companies. They can put it there themselves.
Actually, I remember back in the mid-90s, Sega World. Is that still a thing, or have it?
I think there's one somewhere, but I
think
doubt.
it was down in London somewhere, or down the south somewhere.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to go, but I was like 12 or 15 or whatever at the time, and it was just like no idea how to get there.
Because, alright, here's another game. A game that, like, and this is more like a cautionary tale more than a game, but it's the game of what's it called? Order 1886. That had so much potential. That could have been such a good game. The concept was perfect. Werewolves, Victorian England, steampunk weapons, immortal guardian people. Let's fucking do this. It could have basically been Destiny in Victorian England. What did it become? Cutscenes, quick-time events. Well, cutscenes, quick-time events, and shit gameplay.
Yeah, but the biggest problem with that game was when the game was being shown to the press behind closed doors, they were basically saying, oh, look at this door frame that we've modelled accurately. Look at this door handle that we've modelled. It's like, we don't really care about that. It's how the game plays and feels. But I think they just were so intense and impressed by their own graphics engine.
Yeah.
That they wanted to make the game look stunning. And then they thought, oh crap, we better actually make a game around this. So I think if Sony give them the right and give them the, to make the sequel, the engine's already done, so hopefully the hard work's done and they can get along and get on with the actual game.
Because, like, what's another game that's coming out just for the PS4? Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah.
That, it looks good. It looks really good. But no matter how many times they say it's open world, I swear to you it's going to be a sandbox.
From what I've seen, and the little that I had a quick go on, it reminds me so much of Monster Hunter.
Fuck.
And I don't like Monster Hunter.
That's what I mean. It's going to be a very big sandbox. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Everyone's blessing this game like the next revolution of open world. I guarantee it's going to be a very big sandbox because that's all they can make. That's all they can make. That's all they ever make. There hasn't been an actual good open world game in a very long time. And I mean a very long time. And then...
I mean, what's the last one that you think was quite good then, open world?
The last game I would say was actually open world would be Witcher 3. 100% Witcher 3. Because the thing, Witcher 3 and Grand Theft Auto did it right. And I say that because Grand Theft Auto gave you freedom, so you could literally go anywhere, do anything. But Witcher 3 gave you things to do. It was a breathing world. That's the thing that people forget when they say open world. Open world doesn't just mean big maps. Open world means big, living world. It's not open maps, it's open world. I want to feel like I am in a world. I want to feel like I'm in somewhere that isn't just a giant sand pit with walls around it. Like, you can only do stuff to a certain extent.
That's the biggest problem with Mafia 3. It looks stunning, but the world just doesn't feel lived in.
And this is the problem with a lot of open world games. Developers are not understanding what makes open world games great. And I think it's because they're thinking as developers. They're thinking bare bones to the genre. But that's not what makes an open world game great. An open world game does not mean giant maps. There are open world games that have small ass maps, but the world feels lived in. There are things you can do, things happen at random intervals that make you feel like, yeah, this is a living, breathing world. Interactions with people, living, breathing world. A lot of people are going to say the new Deus Ex game. I don't even think that's an open world. I don't even know. I think that's sandbox as hell. But the one thing they get right is the interactions with people. Stuff just happens. Stuff literally just happens. Like, you'll be walking and an officer will just randomly come up to you and be like, "Hey, I want to check your permits," out of nowhere. No matter what mission you're doing. That's amazing. That makes you feel like I'm in this world. And it seems like such a small thing, but that can be the difference between a world feeling and a sandbox feeling. That can be the difference. Like, what's another game that came out for the PS4? Well, it's coming out for the PS4 exclusively.
The Last Guardian.
Oh god. Oh my god. This game, I guarantee, is going to be a disappointment. I guarantee it. It's going to be a disappointment. It's going to be like the son that didn't become a doctor. It's going to be a disappointment. Why? Because that's what it is. People, look how long people have waited for this game. People have waited for this game longer than people have waited for pregnancies. It has been what? Since this game was announced at the beginning of
2007.
I think so. When the PS3 was out.
Yeah, it missed the entire PS3, didn't it?
Yeah, when it was still in its prime. It kept saying next year, no next year, no next year. And every time they show the game, the supposed gameplay, it all looks like a cutscene. And they've shown gameplay now, and that's great. But I don't know if that's pre-rendered or live, and I don't know if it just looks good or if it plays good. Because there is a difference. The game can look good. The game can look fluid. The movements can look fluid. But the thing they have to remember is, it's not a random member of the public playing the game. It is someone who has worked on the game, figured out the do's and don'ts of where you can go within that tech demo and what you can do within that tech demo. That's it. That's all it is. So he's used to playing it if it's broken as shit. And that's fine. So he can just walk through it. He can go through it easy. The difference is, people have put so much anticipation and pressure onto this game that even if the game plays well, works well, looks beautiful, no one is going to say, "Oh yeah, this is a great game." No one. Because everyone's going to be like, "This could have been better." It's not what I imagined. I didn't wait this many years for this. And it's always going to be the thing. It's always going to be the thing. And the next one, this is a game that I'm actually excited for. This is a game I think has, It could be good, hopefully. And it's Hellblade from Ninja Theory.
Yeah.
Now, everyone hated Ninja Theory for what they did to Devil May Cry. Yeah, with the new Dante. I
really liked that.
I liked it. I did like it. It looked good. It played well. I don't know what people were complaining about. It was a good game. Dante looked cool. Like, sure, were they heavy-handed with the whole, like, you know, political approach? Yes, very much so. But it was still a good game. Dante still looked cool. Like, I could imagine this being a younger Dante. Why? Because he looked like a younger Dante. Like, you even saw it. Like, it seemed like it was supposed to be a prologue with how the story went. With how the story went, it seemed like this is what happened before the other Devil May Cries. This is the story behind the story. That's what it was supposed to look like. That's what it was supposed to be. And I believe that if they give the same approach, because Ninja Theory has made good games. There hasn't been many games that they've messed up on. They have a good track record. And it's a game that's based in like Celtic myth. So, you know, that might be a little hard to get right. That might be a little difficult to get right. I don't know if they'll get it right, if they'll get Celtic myth right, but you know, we'll see. And it looks like a good game. It looks like it could be a good game. Like, good things could come from it. And I really hope they do. But am I going to put all of my hope behind this game? Hell no. Why? Because I know shit will go wrong. It most probably will. Like, fuck it. And that's Hellblade. Like, that's one game. But then you have other games. You have the, where is this other one? Oh god, No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is... Oh, Jesus. Like, the entire world is angry at this game. The entire world is pissed
I
at
actually
this
quite
game.
enjoyed No Man's Sky. I thought it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
But that's the thing. Everyone thought it was going to be great. Everyone thought it was going to be like the second coming of video games. Like, this is it, guys. This is going to show us that, procedurally generated games are the future. They're great. Not really. Not at all. Procedurally generated games are okay if they're done right. If they're done correctly. This was just basically like giving you a template and then giving the computer an algorithm that basically just told it, fuck with the template a bit, and then just make thousands of copies, like millions of copies over and over and over and over again, and keep going.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem with No Man's Sky was the fact that because it was one of these sort of like basic survival sort of game where you have to get rations and bits and bobs for your ship, they had to make sure just about every planet you landed on, you could get enough bits to get fuel for the ship to launch.
Exactly. And again, but there are good games coming for the PS4. I'm not going to say there aren't. Like, No Man's Sky is just, like, way too much hype. That's what it just seemed like, way too much hype. But there are good games coming. And Persona 5, yeah, that's one game. It's a good game. Is it terrible? No. Is it a game I would play? Absolutely not. I'm never going to play a Persona game.
I don't want to play that.
I'm never going to play it. I love RPGs, but I'm never playing a Persona game. Why? Because they all look horrible. They look shit. They look edgy as fuck. They look so edgy. They look so edgy and Japanesey. It's bad. It's so bad. It looks like a programmer like spent a week in Japan and then listened to a lot of punk music and then you got Persona. But that's the thing. That game, everyone loves it. Everyone loves it. And it's a good game because it has a perfect track record. So that's a game I don't think we have to worry about. Because whether it's good or bad, whether the story of, whether like the diehard fans of Persona love it or not, doesn't fucking matter. Whether like either or, it's going to be a good RPG. No matter what. It's going to be a good RPG. It's going to be semi-decent at worst. But then, what I'm seeing with PS4, and someone from PS4, someone from PlayStation or Sony better correct me if I'm wrong, but dear Jesus, it's looking like it's starting to look like the MOBA machine. It's starting to look like the MOBA machine. And I don't want it to be. I really don't want it to be. It's starting to look like the MMO and MOBA machine. I understand why they're doing it. I get it. You want it to be like, small tiny games and like MOBAs and shit, because that's where the money is. That's fine. But for the love of God, actually try and have good exclusives, because all of the exclusives I'm seeing are terrible. They're either shit or not coming out for years.
So one thing that I will mention that has just come out is the PlayStation VR.
Oh God.
Are you not interested in the future of gaming?
It's not the future of gaming. It's not. It's not. It's not. People are going to be pissed, but it's not. It never will be. Why? Because nobody's going to spend that much money on a screen you can put on your face. Nobody.
I tell you what, people are going to be angry at what I'm going to say. But I've played both the Oculus and the Vive. And I will be honest and sort of say, the cardboard VR with your crappy mobile phone was basically a very similar sort of experience.
It was. It is. And that's the thing. People misunderstand one very simple thing. VR is not new. It's not a new spectacular technology. VR is not amazing, is not the future. It's not going to be, purely because it's a novelty. Yes, there are some very few games that work with this, but let me ask you something. Could you play BioShock Infinite, going down the rails, spinning frantically? Could you play that game with VR?
I think it'd just make you sick.
It'll either make you sick or you will get annoyed really quick. Why? Because you'll need to turn your head every 5 minutes. People forget one simple thing about games. Yes, there are some games that you want to be a part of, that you want to just jump in there and start swinging your arms about. Go right ahead, mate. But there are other games you need to just sit the fuck down. Because, yes, VR is wonderful and it's great, and yay, I can turn my head and look into the ceiling and look below me, I have feet. Ooh. But the thing you're forgetting is, those exact games where you can look down and see your feet, those games all look shit. There has not been a VR-centric game that I can say, oh my god, this game looks amazing. None of them. None of them. Why? Because either the graphics are great, but the gameplay is shit, or the gameplay is great, or the graphics look like dog shit. One or the other. Every single time.
The only games that interest me in VR is like the sort of like cockpit sort of games. So either like Gran Turismo Sport, where you basically sit in the cockpit and look around as if you're driving within the car, or like the space shooters where you're in the cockpit and you look around the cabin of the ship. To me, those are the only games that look any interesting. The proper full first-person shooter games, they either have to be at really slow pace because they don't want you to swing your head around and get whiplash.
Yeah.
Or you get motion sick like you do in the bloody Resident Evil 7 sort of game, which is just weird. But I don't know. I honestly think when the Oculus and the Vive were announced to come out this year, I thought that it had been a bigger splash than what it has been. But I don't know, it's just been really weird.
Because it may seem like I'm giving, to a lot of people it's going to seem like I'm giving PlayStation a hard time. And I am. I really am. Because I was a person who didn't buy the PS3 until the very end of its life cycle. I was Xbox only for a very long time. Like, I had the first PlayStation, I had the PlayStation 2, but I went to Xbox. And then I went to PlayStation near the end of its life cycle. And they were great games. Right? And that might be because I entered at the end. But the games that they had were good. They weren't trying to create new experiences. They weren't trying to make these nuanced ideas and technologies or novelty ideas and novelty technologies into full-fledged games. That wasn't what they were doing. They were like, there's a difference between being risky and being smart. Like, what Xbox is doing is smart. What Xbox is doing is smart. They're basically waiting it out. Yeah, they're waiting out everything, holding it until the very, very, like, minimum. They're waiting, like they're not gonna jump straight ahead into VR. They don't have to, because Xbox has PC, and they have, and the great thing that they're doing, and something that I think PlayStation has to get into, is cross-platform instantly. Because if you start bringing console players into PC games, it will widen the reach. You won't just have like small communities anymore. Your communities will grow. More people will be like, hey, you know what, I have a PC, but you know, I might want to buy a PlayStation, or I have a PlayStation, I might want to buy a PC. The community grows. Everything gets better. More people want to develop games for PlayStation, because the reason a lot of developers, I think a lot of indie developers don't develop for PlayStation, and instead a lot of indie games, you see more indie games on PC than PlayStation, and the reason is you have more of a chance of reaching people on PC, hands down, just more people, and you have more possibilities. Because you can be making it for PC, but if you want to make a port for Xbox, cross-platform, easy, done, no questions asked. So you don't lose a chunk of your demographic. You lose a chunk of your players. And like, PlayStation doesn't have, like, PlayStation right now is coming off from a win. It's coming off from a win, right? So they're cocky. They think, you know what, nothing can touch us. We're fine. And that might be true for a little bit. I'm not going to lie. That might have been true. But now, not so much, man. Not at all. Because they have the PlayStation Slim, which is literally just a slim PlayStation 4. It does nothing new. It does nothing new. If you want to buy a PlayStation, just buy the normal one, because Slim ain't shit.
To be fair, you won't be able to buy the normal one anytime soon. It's...
Exactly.
You know, it'll just basically be replaced by the Slim.
That's what I'm saying. And then you have what? You have the PlayStation Pro coming out.
That's out pretty soon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's out soon. And the Pro is great. It's a nice, like, beefy console. But it's, you know, it's like the normal PlayStation was outshined by the Xbox One S. How much are people willing to bet that the Scorpio is just gonna wreck the Pro? It's going to destroy it. Why? Because they're taking an extra year to work on it. PlayStation's just like, we need to release this shit quickly. We need to jump on this train quickly. Why? All because of VR. And VR is going to be a novelty. I guarantee it. Because there aren't going to be enough games, there aren't going to be enough experiences on the VR that people actually want to do. VR right now is for YouTubers and Twitch streamers, because no one actually wants to play those goddamn things. People want to watch people play them. And this is, and I say it every time. Go on.
I was just going to say, I had an idea for a YouTube video series where someone was going to play like a VR game, but instead of showing the game, the camera's just on the person stood in the room. And so you don't see no gameplay, it's just the person dancing around in the middle of the screen.
That's what you see a lot of the time, though. A lot of the time it's just like, people want to see other people with a screen on their face acting like an idiot. Fine, do that. But that doesn't make it a good system. You having that doesn't make your system any good. Like, and PlayStation is coming out with good games, right? They're going to come out with good games next year, which is nice, but, you know, at some point next year. We don't know when, but at some point next year. So, we have God of War. Looks good. Looks very fucking good. Is it going to be good? I have no goddamn idea. I have no idea. At all. None whatsoever. But then you have, what else? You have Spider-Man. You have the new Spider-Man coming out. And that looks nice.
I think that'll be quite good because it's made by the team who did the Sunset Overdrive, which I absolutely loved for the Xbox One. You
know for sure the movement and everything else is going to be spot on that game. So that's the game I'm not worried about. God of War, I'm worried about. I'm very worried about. Because they showed gameplay, but it was short, and, you know, again, the developers playing it. That could have been, or it could have just been a video. So, you know, sure. Like, until the game releases, I have no faith. And then you have Death Stranding, Kojima.
That's still 2-3 years away.
That game makes no fucking sense.
That'll be nothing to do with the game.
I have no idea what the fuck is going on in that game, and honestly, I don't want to. It looks stupid as shit. Just because it has Norman Reedus and Kojima made it doesn't make it a good game. Just because you have invisible babies and cables doesn't mean it's a good game. I guarantee you it's going to be an art project. I guarantee you it's going to be an art project game. It's going to look amazing, and because it's made by Kojima, everyone's going to be like, this is the second coming of gaming.
I think, in the end, it'll just turn out to be a Metal Gear Solid 5-esque sort of game, but where your character's like a cyborg, sort of like soldier, and something stupid like that. Honestly, with the games Kojima's made, it's always some political bullshit message. Every single time, it gets tiring. It gets so fucking tiring when they just force into a game's story or plot. They just force in some like moral message. Don't do that. Just, it's not, if it doesn't have to be there, don't force it to be there. If you force, and I guarantee it, there's gonna be a moral, sympathetic, like, you know, make the world a better place bullshit message, or we need to be more connected. Some shit in this game. I guarantee it, and it's gonna be so bad. I can feel it. I have the same feeling every single time. And then Final Fantasy VII Remake. If this isn't good, oh sweet fucking Christ, there might actually be riots. I shit you not, there may probably be riots. I am 100%, I am 50% sure there will be riots if this game is not good. So, I want it to be good, but it's not like, if I didn't have a PS4, this would not be the thing to make me go, I want to buy a PS4. It wouldn't be. It honestly wouldn't be. And then you have this is the one game that I pray to God is good. I pray it's good, because if it's not, I'm going to kill someone. Crash Bandicoot Remaster. Please be good. Please, for the love of God. Because Christ, you can't fuck it up. You really can't. You can't afford to at this point. Like, Naughty Dog can, because, you know, it's Naughty Dog. They've made enough good. They have enough money at this point, okay? Uncharted's finished, and Last of Us made so much money, it's kind of sad. So, like, they have crazy money. They have fuck you money. It's great. PlayStation can't fuck it up. They can't afford to, because out of all of their past old PlayStation 1 era things, Crash Bandicoot is the one that everyone remembers. Crash Bandicoot is the one that, as a child, everyone played. Either played or saw. 100% fact. And yes, it's fucking... And I really do think it's great. I really do think it's going to be good. I hope it's going to be good.
Will it be good? Probably not. But you know, what can you do? You have what's another one?
They have that zombie one which I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, Days Gone. Days Gone. Yeah. See, Days Gone is its name perfectly describes what you will lose by playing this game. Days of your life. And I honestly think that they're trying to make... So you know how Last of Us was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to do that. And I get it. I understand. You know, Last of Us was a gigantic hit. I didn't like it, but people liked it. Everyone was like, woo, Last of Us, yay, it's fucking amazing. The story was great. Gameplay I didn't like, but they're going for that type of tone, innit? Like zombie survival, like you're playing through the story of a guy who's had a hard life or some shit like that. A loved one probably died, and now he's in a world where he has to make tough decisions. Bullshit. That's gonna be the game. I'm not excited for that. I'm not excited for that. It's not that it's like overdone. It's that that story does not bring me in. It doesn't pull me in, and it doesn't like bring me into it and go, you know, watch this. It's like, okay, this is it's a show that you watch. It's like Big Bang Theory, basically. You watch it if it's on, but you're not gonna purposely wait for it. You know what I'm saying? It's there, but you're not really. It's not a high priority. And then you have the David Cage game.
Yeah, the Android-y one.
Become Human. Yeah, Detroit Become Human. So this I feel like is gonna be like LA Noire. It's gonna be like LA Noire with some like heavy rain. You know, like you make choices and shit. Like you're getting people, you're getting criminals, and you're interrogating them, talking to them, and that's great. It looks fun. It looks like a game that I wouldn't play, but I would watch. A lot of those games coming out, and it's fine. But like, you need to make games. Games need to start like thinking of not appealing as much to, you know, YouTubers and more to actually people who want to play the game. Like, I don't want to show people I'm playing the game. I just want to play the game. Like, no one's going to be watching me playing this game. And then you have horror games that are coming out as well. And don't get me wrong, some of the horror games are scary as shit. Like Resident Evil 7. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I screamed like a little bitch. That game is scary as a motherfucker. And it's like, you're basically stuck. Like, I did the house one, the first one. And that, oh my god. Oh, son of a bitch. When you're walking, like, when you're taking the ladder down into, like, the basement area, and the motherfucker comes out of the wall, not out of the wall, but he turns around, he's like, nope, not today. Nope. I put the controller down and just walked out of the room. Fuck that. Instantly fuck that. That's not happening today. No. Give me a gun in that game and I'm happy. But, like, I played the Resident Evil 2. I think it was Resident Evil 2. It was the one where they're in a mansion.
The first one's in a mansion, the second one's where they're in the city.
Yeah, it's the mansion, and I think that was the first one.
Yeah.
I played that on the PlayStation, on PS4, and because I think it was the game of the month for October, or one of them.
Yeah, I think it's the remake.
And you know what? That game is decent for like what it is. You know, it's a horror game, but shitty controls don't make it a horror game. The controls are terrible. I hate the fact that you move like a tank. That's annoying.
Well, you can change the settings so you can actually use like full analog control.
Oh yeah, I know that. But that doesn't make it any better. That doesn't make it any better. It doesn't. And an unpopular opinion I have is that I enjoyed the later games more than the previous ones. I enjoyed the action. Because good horror is knowing that you have all the tools to kill something, but you can't. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no matter how many bullets you put in it, no matter how many, like, no matter what you do, it's still coming for you. There's still more outside that door. That's what horror is. Because, like, the thing that I loved is that, yeah, those, like, in those old horror movies, those kids probably could have killed Jason or Freddy if they, you know, grabbed a loose pipe or grabbed, like, a piece of wood on the floor. They could have smacked him across the head and ran. But they didn't. Why? Because they knew. And that's what made it scary. No matter what they did, no matter how hard they hit, they would come back. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
And that's why I liked it. That's why I like the older, the more, like the newer ones. Because, okay, Resident Evil 6 was a bit like, that was a bit shit. But, like, you know, besides that, it was good. Those were good games because you would still shoot. You would be aiming down sight and you'd be shooting at one of them, and then one of them would just come from the side, or one of them would come from behind you. Like, they would come from your blind spots, and that's what made those games scary. That's what made those games good. Granted, they got more actiony as they went on, but that didn't make them bad. That just made them appeal to people that didn't want to spend 3 hours getting through one section of a house. I'm not going to sit there and walk through the same hallways and doors. I can't be bothered. That's not a fun experience for me. I'm not playing Sherlock Holmes. That's not happening. Not today. And it's fun. And you know, I'm not going to say that people that like that type of stuff are wrong. I'm just saying that there's a difference between the horror. There's a difference in what horror is. And then, like, back onto the subject. with PS4 and its games, again, they are good. There are good games, but not enough. There aren't enough games on the PS4 for you to say, yeah, I should get a PS4 above an Xbox. There aren't anymore, and that's a problem. But no one wants to say it because no one wants to be that guy. No one wants to be the person that says, oh yeah, there's a lot of these old games that are pulling on your nostalgia aren't going to be good. They're not gonna be good. Most probably not. And it's not a bad thing, it's just the truth, man. Like, God of War is great. It looks amazing. But, yeah, no. Like, the direction they're taking it in, hell no. It looks great, and it looks like it plays great, but the direction they're taking it in, it just basically looks like it's going to be like the end of Red Dead. Like, Kratos dies and you play as his son. That's what's gonna happen. I get it, but if that's what's gonna happen, can we not? Like, that's not something that has to be done. That's not something that has to be done, really. But that's what I'm thinking. That's all I'm thinking about this. But when it comes to consoles, this is all I'm getting.
So I guess we've had an hour of Eddie mourning.
Oh yeah, this is just a rant. That was a rant to fill time. It worked. It worked.
But yeah, so I guess that will do for this week's episode of 175 of the One Up Gaming Podcast. Just to remind people, please visit our website, which is oneupgaming.co.uk. We have a sister site, which is ougtech.co.uk. We are on Patreon, which is patreon.com/oug. Now, if you join us on Patreon at the $5 or more, then we will send out a free gift for you. Now, at the moment, these like Zelda pendants or things like that. I did a little video on YouTube where I showed some of the little things that we have to send out for people. I've even got like a little games player that I think we'll give away to people. And if you help us out at $10 or more, then we'll send out some little USB game controllers, like a Mega Drive pad or a SNES pad, things like that. We have t-shirts at bluecyborg.com. Just search 1UP Gaming, you'll be able to find things there. And again, I would just like to mention we have the album out, which is Games Inspired Music. It is out on iTunes and Google Play. You can even like listen to it through Spotify and Apple Music and streaming sort of places. And every album that is sold, 20% will go to the Child's Play charity. So even if you don't want to listen to the 26 sort of songs on there, you know, it's only, I think it's $5.99. So 20% of each sale will go to the Child's Play charity. So we have Facebook and YouTube. Just search 1UP Gaming, sure you'll find us on there. We are on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/OUGofficial. If you want to tweet us, it's at OUGofficial. And if you want to email us, it's contact@oneupgaming.co.uk. And the podcast itself, please just subscribe to us on iTunes. Please leave 5 stars and feedback. It really helps when people are searching for podcasts. So I think that will do for this week's podcast. So do you have anything else you want to say before we go, Eddie?
Oh no, I'm good. I've said everything I want to say. I just want to see how people react at this point.
So you've had a good hour to get things off your chest.
Oh, I said most of that to fill time, but now I just want to see if, like, the shitstorm I've created.
It should be fun.
Oh, it's very.
So thank you, Eddie, and we'll be back next week.
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Hey guys, Justin here. I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you a lot. Yes, you in particular. In that way. And I wanted to say, I think you're great. I've always said that about you. And I was wondering, if you think we're great, if you could give us a quick rating on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. It would really, really help us out in that, podcasty sort of way. And if you're feeling particularly festive, perhaps even a little saucy, maybe stop by our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/OUG and see if you can't slip a few bucks our way. After all, every little penny or whatever space money they use in Europe helps out the show. Thanks for listening. OUG Gaming will always be free, but with your support, we can always move forward and always be better.